Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my November TBR. Now, if you guys watched my October TBR, it was a little bit chaotic. We had a very special guest that came in and took over the show. Patty decided to make her first appearance, and it made the TBR a little bit more interesting. I did manage to finish most of my books in some form or fashion for that TBR, but it was a little all over the map because we had a lot of hands in the pot in the month of October. However, the month of November, we're going to be a little more chill. We're just going to see what we get. The board is starting to get a little bit more full. Hopefully we won't have to add any rolls. As always, I will be doing 5 rolls. If I get a roll that I can't match a prompt to, then I have to add a roll and use the spinner wheel of doom, which has 5 books that I want to read and 5 books that I don't want to read on it. As always, I can roll up to 3 times. When I hit the 3rd roll, that is what I get, or I can choose to stop early if I want to, and I will clear the board when I manage to get 5 in a row on the board. So I think that is pretty much everything. As always, I will be giving you guys my required reads for the month. There are 2 if they don't make it onto the TBR, so we'll do that at the end. I do have 2 that I need to be reading. I don't think that I have any like hardcore readathons throughout the month of November. Cassidy is doing a Patreon readathon that I may participate in, but I don't really know what that's going to entail yet. And otherwise, I don't think that there's really a whole lot going on in the month of November, which honestly will kind of be nice after the craziness that was October. October was very, very busy, so I am a little bit excited to just take it easy in the month of November. So I guess without further ado, let's just jump into our first roll. All right, so this is what the board is looking like so far. We are getting kind of full, especially like in these corners. So let's just see, I guess, what we're gonna get. TBR Bluff, roll number 1. Okay, so we have a 6, a 1, a 5, a 5, and a 4. So I'm definitely gonna keep those 2 5s. Okay, and 2 5s is an isolated setting, so I think I am going to roll again and let's see what we get. 2 5s and 3 2s is a full house, but I want to say that's already been taken. So we could do 2 5s and 2 2s. Is that still on the board? It is not. So we actually have more 2s on the board than we do 5s. We could also do video projects. So I'm going to roll these one more time. So 4 2s. 4 2s is a TBR vet. Alright, so TBR Bluff Roll got us 4 2s, which was a TBR vet, and I will be honest with you guys, I hate this prompt. It is a TBR vet for a reason, and that means that I have not wanted to pick it up. However, I do sometimes need a push to pick up the older books on my TBR because the new and the shiny always takes over, and I was interested in this book at one point in time, so I do need to give myself a push to read it. I think for this one, I may not cheat, but cheat just a teeny tiny bit and go with The Empire of Silence by Christopher Ruscio. This is a sci-fi fantasy that I have wanted to read for forever. It has been on my like mental TBR. However, it was always in a mass market paperback because the hardbacks went out of print a long time ago, and I hate mass market paperbacks, so I never bought it. However, they recently put out the trade paperbacks of these, and I did pick it up, and now I am very, very excited to give this one a try. It is extremely long. It is like 500 pages, but the font is teeny tiny, but I am excited to read it. So this is about a guy who is fighting a war that is not his war. He was remembered as a monster because he burned every last alien out of the sky. He destroyed the sun and he annihilated 4 billion lives. He's not a hero, he's not a monster, he's not even a soldier, and now he is on the wrong planet at the wrong time fighting a battle that isn't his. I've heard this is an epic sci-fi with fantasy undertones, and I am really excited to finally give this one a try. TBR Bluff, roll number 2. That didn't give us a whole lot. We have 2 1s, which I do not see. Oh, yeah, it's down here. Out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I think we're going to roll these 3 again. Now we have 3 1s, which is Blurbed. And Blurbed is always fun. I actually think I am going to go with Blurbed. That one's fun. We got Tutus, which was a blurbed book. And this prompt is always fun because it gives me a different way to look for books. Blurbed is basically where I have to find a book that is blurbed by an author that I have previously enjoyed. And this can be any author that I've previously enjoyed. I tend to use 4- and 5-star authors, but I could use a fond 3-star. It just kind of depends. So for this one, I think I'm going to be going with Emperor's Blades by Brian Stavley. I've been hearing amazing things about this book recently in the book community. Cassidy recently read it, really enjoyed it, and it is blurbed by Pierce Brown, who is the author of Red Rising, and he said it is an enchanting union of old and new and will keep you turning pages late into the night. Really enjoy Pierce Brown's writing. I am rereading the Red Rising series with my Patreons right now. We are up to Morningstar. I don't think we've read Morningstar yet, but we are up to Morningstar, which means I actually have to add a book to that required reading. But anyway, this is about an emperor that has died and his kids are now trying to find their place in the world. And I think that they're like on the run. There is monks to a blank god, there are rituals, and they're trying to figure out who murdered their father. So I think that there is a lot of interesting concepts going on in here. I have heard that it gets pretty political, and I am so excited to finally have it on the TBR officially. TBR Bluff, roll number 3. All right, so that gave us 2 4s. That's really all we can work with out of that. So I'm going to keep those 2 4s, which I don't think is on the board anymore. And we're going to re-roll these 3. So that gave me a 5, a 2, and a 1, which was not overly helpful. So let's try that one more time. Okay, 3 4s, so that got us first person. All right, 3 4s, which was a first person book. And for this one, I am going to be getting one of my required reads on here, and that is Daughter of the Beast by E.C. Greaves. This cover, you guys, is just absolutely incredible. This is Bookborn's pick for the SPFBO 9 finalist, and I am going to be reading all of the finalists, more on that to come, but I'm so excited for this one. I was like jumping for joy when this made it into a finalist. I knew that Dom really enjoyed it, but I was like, I really hope that Bookborn enjoys it too. And she did. This is the Indie Archive pick for the month of November. So if you guys don't know what Indie Archive is, it is the Indie Patreon book club that Cassidy and I run for our top 2 tiers of our patrons. So in the month of November, we're going to be reading Daughter of the Beast, and I am, again, beyond excited to be reading this one. So it says, "Fear not the beast in your stories, for anything can be slain with a stout blade and a stouter heart." It's about a girl who was in a village and it was raided by fearsome women warriors of the ancient wilds. And only this young girl is taken by them. She's claimed by their infamous matriarch, and she is taught to hunt, to fight, and to kill. And in the company of these women, she finds sisterhood, and she also finds amongst them glory. But the glory is that must be earned in the blood of her people, and she is not like other women. The Volcari are monsters. So I'm very interested in this. I think it's going to be a unique fantasy. The author was actually kind enough to send me a copy and a copy of the other 2, so I have the whole trilogy that I can binge once I enjoy this one. All right, TBR Bluff, roll number 4. Yeah, so we got 2 5s out of that one and 2 3s. Is that on the board? I see 2 5s and 2 4s. Don't see 2 5s and 2 3s. I don't think that's on the board. No. So the question then becomes, do I only re-roll this one? That was our first roll, so I think we're going to try and see what happens. Ooh, 3 5s. Another full house. 3 5s is steal a book. I actually think I'm going to go with this one because I have a book in mind for this. All right, so roll number 4 got us 3 5s, and this one was steal a book. It was actually quite easy because this is going to be one of my required reads for the month of November. I'm going to be co-hosting the Busy Bee Book Club in November with Cassidy. This is the book club that is created and hosted by Erin over from Booked and Busy, and she has kindly asked us to come and chat about Dreams of Dying by Nicholas Letuza? Maybe that's how I'm supposed to say that. This is a fantasy horror that has been on my want to read list for forever. However, it is chunky. It's like 728 pages, but I've heard so many good things about it. So I've always been very intimidated by it and putting it off, and I'm excited to finally get the push to pick it up and to read it. It says, if your mind is the enemy, where do you run? And I believe it is about like the horrors of dreams, and it involves mental illness and tackles that in a really unique way. It's about a guy who's an ex-mercenary and he's taken to drifting. He has a very lonely existence, just kind of being on his own, and life is all right. He does want to kind of turn the page, and he accepts a mysterious invitation to the dangerous archipelago, and everything starts to change. He's plagued by social tensions and terrorism, and he's battling old trauma while also now fighting for his life and his sanity. And the fate of this empire now lies in between the dreams and reality that blur until only one question remains. If your mind is the enemy, where do you run? It sounds just so unique and different, unlike anything that I have ever read before, and I am thrilled to finally be able to read this one. Okay, so for our final roll, number 5, let's see what we get. Nothing to work with. We're gonna have to re-roll that one. Okay. That one got me 2 1s, which, again, not overly helpful because it's out of my comfort zone, but at least it's on the board. So let's try this one more time. 3 1s. And it does not look like 3 1s is on the board, so I either can go with author I've never read, or I can go with out of my comfort zone. And the logical good choice is to go with out of my comfort zone, but I just don't know what I would read for that. And I need November to be a win. So I think that I'm going to do the very irresponsible thing. Actually, no, I lied. I know what I can read for out of my comfort zone. We're going to cover that. Okay, so this is the board so far. It is getting very full. So we'll see what December has in store for us. And for our final roll, we got 2 1s, and this got me out of my comfort zone, which again is an evil prompt. The board did not hate me by adding books, but it did hate me by adding prompts that I don't love, which is fine. Again, I need to step out of my comfort zone. So for this one, I actually think I'm going to be going with another SPFB 09 finalist. I keep saying SPFB 09 like everyone knows what I'm talking about. This is the self-published fantasy blog off that is hosted by Mark Lawrence. There are 300 books that are entered, whittled down by 10 judges to 10 finalists, and then the 10 finalists are pitted against each other to see which is the best indie fantasy entered this year. Philip Chase picked The Murder at Spindle Manor by Morgan Stang. This is one that was not on my radar at all. Sorry if there was a slight angle change, my camera battery decided to die. I think I was talking about Spindle Manor and how this was not really on my radar at all. It's not the typical kind of book that I go for, but I am excited to be reading all of the finalists, so I'm definitely going to be picking this one up, and it fits perfectly for this prompt. So this is about Spindle Manor, and we have Huntress Isabella, and she's at this countryside inn, which is the last stop on a deadly hunt. She is tracking an insidious beast that wears the skin of its victims and mimics them perfectly. So that sounds interesting. We have 10 guests that are residing at Spindle Manor, and the creature could be anybody. And apparently they are like trapped in the manor by a torrential downpour, and any of them could end up dying, including her. There is more threats that are residing at the manor. There is now a dead body, somebody has been killed, and a hunt turns into a murder investigation. So it sounds like a historical murder mystery 1-by-1 vibes, but make it supernatural. I don't know, it could be interesting. It is just, again, one that scares me a little bit because this more manor type setting and even 1-by-1 trope are not typically my favorite, but I think that it could be good, and I'm excited because it obviously beat out 30 other books in that batch, so willing to give it a go, and fingers crossed that it's something that I really enjoy. So guys, I think that is all 5 books that are going to be on my TBR, and I've got both of my required reads on there, Daughter of the Beast and Dreams of Dying. So other than that, I think the only thing left that I have not read this month that I need to read or put on the TBR for next month is Holy Sister by Mark Lawrence. This is the third and final book in the Book of the Ancestor series, and we are finishing this out for the Backlist book club. The live show for this is going to be on November 5th. I don't think we have a time in place yet, but I will find that out. This is following Nona, who gets accepted into the Covenant of Sweet Mercy after she is accused of killing a man and finds out that she is going to be trained to be basically an assassin nun. And I really enjoyed this series. The first two were rereads for me. This one is brand new and finishing off the trilogy, so I could not be more excited to be reading this one. Again, I don't know if I'm going to get to it after filming this, because I am filming this TBR a little bit earlier in the month, or if it's going to be one of those things where I have to read it at crunch time in the beginning of November. So tentatively putting this on the TBR. There you guys have it, my tentative TBR. Also with Dreams of Dying, which is a chunker, and Murder at Spindle Manor. I am excited to read all of these. I think it's going to be a really good month. And like I said, I'm excited to just kind of take it chill in the month of November, read some books that I've been highly anticipating, and just kind of get back into the swing of things after spooky season. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments what your most anticipated book for the month of November is. Are you going to be participating in any readathons? Are you taking it chill like me? And if you just want to let me know that you were here, leave me a beast emoji for Daughter of the Beast. Once again, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads are all in the description box below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!